Prime Minister Netanyahu just orchestrated the destruction of Iran's nuclear program, the elimination of the IRGC's top military commanders, the assassination of Iran's nuclear scientists, and the annihilation of more than half, almost 70% of Iran's ballistic missile sites. Bibi coordinated with President Trump, who greenlit American forces to plunge the final dagger right into the Islamic Republic's uranium enrichment program in a war that lasted technically 12 days. And what's Israel's response to Netanyahu? Get your butt back in court for a corruption case that, I'm not kidding, involves Bugs Bunny. Folks, it's Looney Tunes. Looney Tunes. I'm Daniel Cohen, and this is the Real Life Network. Prime Minister Netanyahu on the streets of Israel. Look at the phones, look at the crowds, look at the people, look how excited and happy they are to celebrate a hero. There's the Prime Minister waving, you see there. They're feting him, they're thrilled for him. He humiliated the supreme leader of Iran. And as you see Bibi Netanyahu waving to crowds of people, where is the Ayatollah? Where is he? Hiding in a bunker somewhere. Still, rumors be worse. We won't address that here, but we haven't seen or heard him. And while Israel was just obliterating Iranian weapon sites, 12 days, my goodness, that's unheard of. The war between Russia and Ukraine has gone on for how long now? Almost 3.5 years. Let me ask you a question. Who's winning that war? Who's winning? Russia, Ukraine? Is it a stalemate? I don't think there's a clear answer. There is a clear answer. There's no question. Israel didn't just humiliate, they didn't just defeat, they embarrassed Iran, a nation 9 times its size. Wow. Life here in Israel is back to normal. Homefront Command said, go send your kids back to school, go back to work, do all the things. And here, on a dime, things just switch. I'll be honest, it's a little strange. We went from a barrage of ballistic missile 5, 6 in a row to later that evening, life is normal. Everybody go back to school the next day. It's something. But now that Trump's brokered the ceasefire and it's holding, that means for Netanyahu, a corruption case that's been lingering for 9 years. And on Wednesday, President Trump did something unprecedented. He called for the courts in Israel to toss the case. Get rid of it. Now, we're going to unpack for you what exactly the case is in a moment. But first, here's exactly what's happening. This is the headline. I want to give you the lead. This is the news up front, okay? So it'll all make sense when I tell you what I'm about to tell you. When the left, when the elites, they can't win at the ballot box, where can they win? They try to destroy you. They're trying to destroy Bibi like they tried to destroy Trump in the courtroom. President Trump, this is what he shared. I'm going to read to you his truth. It says, I was shocked to hear that the state of Israel, which has just had one of its greatest moments in history and is strongly led by Bibi Netanyahu, is continuing its ridiculous witch hunt against their great wartime prime minister. Bibi and I just went through hell together, fighting a very tough and brilliant longtime enemy of Israel, Iran. And Bibi could not have been better, sharper, or stronger in his love for the incredible Holy Land. Anybody else would have suffered losses, embarrassment, and chaos. Bibi Netanyahu was a warrior, like perhaps no other warrior in the history of Israel. And the result was something that nobody thought was possible, a complete elimination of potentially one of the biggest and most powerful nuclear weapons anywhere in the world. That coming from President Trump and from Truth Social. Did you catch what President Trump said? What did he say? A witch hunt to take down a popular conservative leader. Does that sound familiar to anyone? It should. Because what's happening to Bibi in Israel right now is exactly what they tried to do to President Trump in America. The exact same playbook. So what are the charges? What's the case against Netanyahu? Well, there are multiple cases actually that are active right now, but this particular case is called Case 1000. They call it the Gifts Affair. And it alleges that Netanyahu and his wife, Sarah, accepted over $200,000 worth of luxury goods. Luxury goods like what, Daniel? Cigars, jewelry, champagne, from an American-Israeli film producer named Arnon Milchan. Okay, Arnon Milchan. Now, who is he? He produced Pretty Woman. He produced Fight Club. He produced Daredevil. Some pretty big movies. Gone Girl, The Revenant, Marley and Me, Big Mama's House 1 and 2, but not 3. I don't know why he didn't do 3. He's a big name in Hollywood. Okay. There's a sphere of influence there, obviously. So he says, yeah, there were gifts that were exchanged. Sure. And in exchange, the suit alleges that Netanyahu made phone calls to try to help Milchan with his visa. And about the gifts, I should tell you, Milchan did give sworn testimony that he said, I made millions of dollars in the film industry and that the gifts meant very little. Basically, they meant nothing to him. About jewelry, though, for Sarah Netanyahu, the Netanyahus reportedly, they confirmed with the Attorney General's office in Israel, and they said, yeah, you can accept a gift from a friend. It's acceptable. They have to be very careful because they're always trying to, look, quid pro quo. It's a thing. And they apparently had code names for certain gifts, like leaves. They called leaves cigars. When they talked about roses, champagne. That was champagne. Why did they need code words? Were they trying to hide something? Look, I don't know. I don't know. I can't explain that. But here's the smoking gun. Are you ready? Are you on the edge of your seat? The earth-shattering corruption is this. Sarah Netanyahu asked for a Bugs Bunny plush toy for their son back in 1996. That's not a joke, and that's not an exaggeration. I'm not kidding. Bugs Bunny, a stuffed animal, a plushie, is part of a corruption case against the Prime Minister of Israel. That's all, folks. Maybe that's all you needed to hear. Wow. I mean, you think about gifts, you think about foreign influence, you think about quid pro quo. My goodness, Hunter Biden, we just saw that $200,000. That was a weekend for him, selling Joe Biden's influence and peddling that around the world. He sat on the board of Burisma, got tens of thousands of dollars a month for his expertise in something that he was not an expert in. Usually when you sit on the board, you're a board member because you can contribute particular expertise in some area. What expertise did he have to be sitting on an energy company in Ukraine? None. Chinese business influence. We've seen it. He flew to China with his dad, with daddy. Selling his ridiculous artwork for what some of them went for $500,000 a pop. How foolish are you feeling right now if you spent $500,000 on Hunter Biden art? Now look, okay, let's get serious. You might be wondering here, it's the rule of law. There's laws, it's black and white, the rule of law, they broke the law. This is not rule of law. This is the weaponization of law. I mean, if the evidence here, which it is, includes a Bugs Bunny toy, that's not prosecuting corruption. That's manufacturing it. And the message, again, it's important that we get this. You've got to drive this point home from the elites is this. Can't beat you at the ballot box, destroy you in court. They did it to Trump. They tried to do it to Trump. Excuse me. They are doing it to Bibi, and they're trying to do it to Bibi. And that's the big thing. They'll do it to anyone who threatens their power. Netanyahu, brief history lesson in case you're not familiar. I mean, the man has won election after election. He's the longest serving Israeli prime minister in history, 17 years in all, 3 separate stints as premier. The Israeli people continue choosing him. Why? Why Netanyahu? When I talk to people in Israel, and I don't live in Jerusalem, I live in the Tel Aviv area. Jerusalem, very right. Tel Aviv, very left. It's like two different countries in Israel. Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, totally separate. But when I talk to my neighbors who can't stand Netanyahu, hate him, they see there are billboards around when I drive and drop off my kids at school with his face and there's in Hebrew calling him warmonger and the most horrible things. I say, okay, you hate Netanyahu, I get it. So if not Netanyahu, who? Who? Who could lead Israel on the global stage? Who has the same gravitas? Who has the of steel? No one. And that's the reality. There is no one else in Israel. No one else. There's this, I think Prime Minister Netanyahu sees him as history will see him as a Churchillian-like global figure. Of course, for this little tiny nation. Look at how he's leading the whole world. He's one of the most important, if not the most influential, aside from the President of the United States, leader in the world. And we're not going to relitigate the Trump case, but I just want to remind everybody, let's talk about it. Just real quickly. Trump was indicted 91 separate felony charges. 91. What did he do? Can you tell me without Googling, what is it that President Trump, what was the law that he broke off the top of your head? He did challenge an election. He said he thought the election results were fake. He kept classified documents that he singularly had the power to declassify. Biden kept classified documents in a pile of trash in a heap in his garage next to his Corvette that wasn't locked or secure at all. Are you kidding me? Did federal agents show up and raid Joe Biden's home in Delaware? Did they go through Dr. Jill Biden's underwear drawer? No, of course not. Trump reportedly paid a porn star, Stormy Daniels, reportedly, again, I have to say, $420,000. It's they did an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, $420,000. They made their peace. It's not illegal. It's not even all that uncommon. Do I love it? No. Is he my priest pastor? No. Do I think he's God? No. He's just a politician. He is a vehicle. That's what politicians are, a vehicle. If I vote for you, what are you going to do for me? How are you going to make my life better, my family better, my country better? How? That's what he is. And that's how evangelicals, that's how people of faith see Donald Trump. We don't worship him. I don't worship Netanyahu. We worship God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Yeshua, Jesus. So without relitigating that entire case, I just wanted to remind you of the truth. That just think about, what if Trump had not won? What if by some, oh my God, I shudder to think what Israel just went through if Kamala Harris was president. Oh my gosh, that would have been horrible. Horrible. How would Netanyahu have navigated with a hostile president, the Chuck Schumers that have tried to oust him, the Nancy Pelosi's that tried to oust him, Democrat leaders that are hostile to Israel, a Democrat base that's openly hostile to Israel? How would they have done that? Oh my. The terrifying truth is that if he would not have won, Trump would be in prison right now. No doubt about it. They were trying to lock him up. They were planning to lock him up. Bankrupt him, take everything that he has, let him rot in prison. Let me ask you a question. Does that sound like America? It doesn't sound like America to me. It sounds like Venezuela, locking up former leaders. That sounds like a third world, that's Russia. That's what dictatorships do. Trump, he wears it like a badge of honor every single time. Every indictment, every time. It's not a new soundbite, but it's worth hearing again. Listen.
Every time the radical left Democrats, Marxists and communists and fascists indict me, I consider it a great badge of honor. I really do.
Yeah. He went on. He said, they're not after you, or they're not after me, they're after you. By after me, he meant himself. They're not after Trump. They're after the American people, his supporters, the conservatives. Exactly. And so some people are now suggesting that President Trump should sanction Israeli judges, some of the judicial bureaucrats here who are trying to persecute Netanyahu. And why? It's to protect American interests. Well, what do you mean? Why would they do that? Look, the left in Israel, they see Netanyahu as, not the left in Israel, America and the supporters, they see Netanyahu as an asset, and they want to protect the asset. But the left in Israel, the opposition leader, a man named Yair Lapid, who served as a prime minister for about this long, did immense damage to Israel while he was prime minister. Huge amounts of damage. Sold gas and oil fields to Lebanon that he had no right to sell. He's warning Trump, don't interfere in the inner workings here in Israel. Don't interfere. What does the Bible say? The Bible warns about corruption. It warns about corrupt shepherds who pervert justice. When courts become weapons against the righteous, it says God sees it. The book of Jeremiah. In Jeremiah 5:28, it says that they have grown fat and sleek. Their evil deeds have no limit. They do not seek justice. They do not promote the case of the fatherless. They do not defend the just cause of the poor. These judges in Israel, they aren't shepherding justice. They're shepherding political vengeance. They're not protecting people. They're protecting the establishment. And I believe God is going to judge for that. This is a moment, huge moment, where everyone in Israel should be celebrating. You can hate Prime Minister Netanyahu personally, but my goodness, what a moment this is for this nation. Trump won anyway, despite the opposition. He overcame the lawfare. He survived the witch hunt, multiple witch hunts. And America is stronger and safer thanks to a neutralized Iranian regime that's been vowing, which is more than a promise. They say they vowed to wipe Israel off the map. A promise is something you're like, yeah, I promise I'll be there at 5 p.m. A vow is when you marry someone, you take a vow. That's more than just a promise. When we make a vow, I know when I made a vow to marry my wife, I think God expects me to keep that vow. That's serious. It's more than a promise. This is what Iran has been saying about Israel for decades. They've been vowing to try to eliminate. Trump's not interfering. He's leading. He's leading from the front. He's not leading from behind like Biden and Obama and the beta males of the Democrat Party. He's the big boss. They hate it. They can't stand it. And because they hate him, oh man, they hate him. And I know why they hate him. In case you're wondering, why do they hate Trump so much? Trump was not a media creation. They didn't create him. Some people, Obama was a media creation. There are some people that were created. And because they didn't create President Trump, he was already Donald Trump before the creation. They can't take him down. And every time they think, oh, we got Donald Trump now, it just backfires and blows up right in their face. Over and over and over again. I don't know. I don't think they're ever going to wise up. Battle lines have been drawn. There are people versus elites. Democracy versus judicial tyranny. These aren't the only nations where this is happening too. In Brazil, in France. We're not going to get into all that right now. But right now, it's America and Israel versus a global establishment. I think Israel should take a good, hard look at its own democracy and say, what's up, Doc? From Israel, for the Real Life Network, I'm Daniel Cohen.